Good day, everyone. Welcome to Economic Vlog. Today, we will introduce to you the top 10 economies that really had great contribution to the world. Most of the people in the world are poor, so if you know the economics of being poor, we should know much of the economics that really matters. Hey everyone, today I want to talk about Jude William Haltz, one of the most influential economists in agricultural economics and a Nobel Prize winner. He was born on April 30, 1902 in Arlington, South Dakota, USA. He finished his tertiary education at South Dakota State College and at University of Wisconsin-Madison for his PhD. He died on February 26, 1998 in Evanston, Illinois, USA. Haltz grew up in a farm, so he had first-hand knowledge of agriculture. What he wanted to tell the world was simply but powerful. People, especially farmers in developing countries, are rational. They know how to make the best decision with the tools and resources they have. The problem? Lack of access to the modern technology and education. Halt's theory was about trusting that people's education and the health would boost productivity, especially in agriculture, more than just investing in machines. His work changed the way we approach global development. Empowering people first, they'll make the most of the resources they have. That's Halt's lasting legacy. That's a message that will matter today.
Welcome to Paris. Yes, you're right. Our economist number 2 was born in Paris, France. Let's go. Come with me to find out who this is. Esther Duflo is a renowned French-American economist who has been made significant contribution to the field of development economics. She is best known for her pioneering work in using randomized controlled trials to evaluate the effectiveness of various development interactions. She was born in Paris, France in 1972 to a pediatrician mother and a mathematician professor father. She was persuaded to study economics by a professor at the École Normale Supérieure, where she earned her undergraduate degree. She went to earn the PhD in economics from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in 1999. Esther Duflo's work in development economics doesn't rely on a single overarching theory. Instead, she focuses on a specific methodology and the shift in mindset. Here are some key elements of her approach. First, the power of randomized controlled trials, RCTs. Duflo is a pioneer in using RCTs to evaluate development intervention. This approach borrowed from the medical research involved randomly assigning participants to different groups, treatment and control, to isolate the impact of a specific program. Why it's important? RCTs help to establish causality, meaning they show whether a program actually caused a change in outcomes, rather than simply being correlated with it. This is crucial for making informed decisions about which programs are truly effective and worth investing in. Second, focus on microeconomic issues. Duflo's research focuses on everyday decisions of individuals and households in developing countries. She investigates things like household behavior. How do families make decisions about spending, saving, education, and health? Access to finance. How can financial services be better designed to meet the needs of the poor? Education. What are the most effective ways to improve educational outcomes in developing countries? Third, challenging assumptions about poverty. Duflo's work often challenges traditional assumptions about poverty and the poor. She argues that the poor are irrational actors. They make decisions based on their own best interest, even if those decisions seem illogical from the outsider's perspective. Poverty is complex. There is no single silver bullet solution to poverty. It requires a nuanced understanding of the specific challenges faced by different communities. Fourth, emphasis on evidence-based policies. Duplus believed that development policies should be based on rigorous evidence, not just on intuition or ideology. Her works aims to provide policymakers with the data they need to make informed decisions about how to allocate resources and design effective intervention. 5. Humanizing economics. Dufflo's approach is often described as humanizing economics. By focusing on the lived experience of the poor and using rigorous methods to understand their behavior, she brings a more compassionate and nuanced perspective to the field. In essence, Esther Duflo's message is one of hope, evidence, and action. She believes that poverty is not predetermined fate, but a problem that can be addressed through rigorous research, effective intervention, and a commitment to human dignity. Her work inspires a more optimistic and evidence-based approach to development, aiming to create a world where poverty is not barrier to opportunity.
Economist 8. Milton Friedman was born in 1912 in the Brooklyn, New York, to Jewish immigrants, and he also studied the mathematics and economics at Rutgers before earning a PhD from Columbia University. Friedman became one of the most influential economists of the 20th century, championing free market ideas. Throughout his career, Friedman has promoted the power of human rights and limited government intervention. His work reshaped the economic policy, especially during the 1970 and 1980. In his seminal book Capitalism and Freedom 1962, Friedman argued that political freedom is closely tied to economic freedom. One of the Friedman's key contributions is the monetarism. He argued that controlling the money supply is the most effective way to manage the economy, particularly inflation. His theory suggests that excessive government spending and money creation cause inflation. He advocated for steady, controlled growth in the money supply as the best way to ensure the economic stability. In 1976, Friedman was awarded the Nobel Prize in Economics for his work on consumption analysis monetary history. Friedman's idea was behind the academia influencing global in- and economic policies. Friedman's theories reshape how we view the role of government and markets in the economy. Through his revolutionary work, Milton Friedman left a lasting impact on modern economics, advocating for free markets as the path to prosperity and freedom.
I am Kenzam Dili now. I'm introducing Kamer Daron Asimoglous, Contribution to Economists, and this is his briefly biography and discoveries. Kamer Daron Asimoglu is a Turkish-American economist or Armenian descent who was taught at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology since 1993, where he is currently the Elizabeth and James Killian Professor. Kamer Daron Asimoglu. He is born on September 3, 1967, aged 59 years old, in Istanbul, Turkey. Daron Asimoglu has received a BA in Economics at the University of York in 1989, in Mathematical Economics and Econometrics at the London School of Economics in 1990, and a PhD in Economics at the London School of Economics in 1992. Since 1993, he has held the academic position of lecturer at the London School of Economics and assistant professor, Pinty Corey associate professor and professor of economics at MIT. He is the author of 6 books, including New York Times bestseller Why Nations Fail, Power, Prosperity, and Poverty, Introduction to Modern Economic Growth, The Narrow Corridor, States, Societies, and the Fate of Liberty, and Power and Progress, Our Thousand-Year Struggle over Technology and Prosperity. He has received numerous awards and fellowships including the award for Best Paper published in the Economic Journal in 1996 for his paper Consumer Confidence and Rational Expectations. Are agents' beliefs consistent with the theory? The inaugural T.W. Saltz Prize from the University of Chicago in 2004 and the inaugural Sherwin-Rosen Award for Outstanding Contribution to the Labor Economics in 2004. Distinguished Science Award from the Turkish Sciences Association in 2006. The Jan von Neumann Award in College Budapest in 2007. His academic work covers a wide range of areas, including political economy, economic development, economic growth, technological change, inequality, labor economics, and economics of networks. He received an inaugural T.W. Saltz Prize from the University of Chicago in 2004 and the inaugural Sherwin-Rosen Award for Outstanding Contribution to Labor Economics in 2004. Distinguished Science Award from the Turkish Sciences Association in 2006.
This is a picture of Alfred Marshall. Alfred Marshall was born in 1842 in London, England. Originally studying mathematics, he later turned to economics driven by a desire to improve societal welfare. Marshall became one of the most influential economists of the late 19th and early 20th centuries. This is a picture of lecturing at Cambridge University. Marshall taught at Cambridge University, where he mentored future economic leaders like John Maynard Keynes. His work laid the foundation for modern economic thought, merging mathematics with practical economics problems. Marshall writing Principles of Economics. His most famous book, Principles of Economics, 1890, introduced key concepts that are still fundamental today. Marshall's supply and demand model explained how prices in a market are determined by the interaction between what producers are willing to supply and what consumers demand. A graph showing supply and demand curves. One of Marshall's key contributions is the price elasticity of demand, which measures how sensitive the quantity demanded of a good is to changes in this price. This idea helped businesses and policymakers understanding consumer behavior and price strategies. The concept of marginal utility. Marshall also developed by the concept of marginal utility, the additional satisfaction gained from consuming one more unit of a good. This theory helps explain consumer choice and the value people place on goods and services. Visuals of market competition. He emphasized the importance of competition and market equilibrium, explaining how businesses operate under different market conditions and how resources are allocated efficiently through supply and demand forces. Marshall's impact on modern economics. Marshall's ideas shaped the way economists analyze markets, price, and consumer behavior. His work continues to be cornerstone in economic theory and policy, influencing how we understand market economies today. Picture of markets and consumers. Through his groundbreaking theories, Alfred Marshall provided the tools for understanding how economists function, leaving a lasting legacy that continues to guide economists and policymakers worldwide.
Good day, I am Jessamine Fuentes, discussing the fourth economist,
David Ricardo from London. David Ricardo was born in 1772 in London to a wealthy Jewish family of Portuguese descent. At the age of 14, he joined his father's stockbroking business, gaining a strong foundation in finance and economics. However, his relationship with his family soured after married outside his faith. Inspired by the works of Adam Smith, Ricardo started his journey in economics. He became a major figure in the field, making several lasting contributions. One of his key theories is the labor theory of value, which explains that the value of good is determined by the amount of labor required to produce it. Ricardo's most famous contribution is the theory of comparative advantage. It shows how countries can benefit from trade, even if one country is less efficient at producing everything. By specializing in what they produce best, both nations can enjoy higher prosperity. In his book, Principles of Political Economy and Taxation, on 1817, Ricardo also explored ideas on rent, wages, and profits. His theory of rent explains how landowners benefit from the increasing value of their land as population and demand grow. Ricardo's work laid the foundation for modern economics and international trade. His insights continue to influence economic policy today, promoting the idea that free trade and specialization drive global prosperity. Through his theories, Ricardo showed the world that cooperation and exchange can create wealth for all, shaping the way we understand the economy and globalization.
John Maynard Keynes, 1883 to 1946. John Maynard Keynes, born June 5, 1883, Cambridge, Cambridgeshire, England, died April 21, 1946. Was an English economist, journalist, and financier, best known for his economic theories. Keynesian economics. On the causes of prolonged unemployment, his most important work, The General Theory of Employment, Interest, and Money, 1935 to 1936, advocate a remedy for economic recession based on a government-sponsored policy of full employment. Background and early career. John Maynard Keynes' early life was shaped by his family intellectual background and his time at Cambridge University. He was influenced by economist Alfred Marshall and became Bloomsbury Group, a circle of influential artists and writers. After graduating, Keynes worked as a civil servant, contributing to his first major work on Indian finance. He then returned to Cambridge as a professor before joining the Treasury during World War I. Keynes' experience at the Versailles Peace Conference, where he was troubled by the harsh terms imposed on Germany, led him to resign and write the economic consequences of the peace. This influential book critiqued the reparation placed on Germany and became a bestseller due to its vivid portrayals of key political figures. This act solidified Keynes' reputation as a critical thinker and potentially untrustworthy figure within some Whitehall circles. Key contribution. Keynes' major contribution to economics lies in his general theory of employment, interest, and money. This work challenged the prevailing laissez-faire economic orthodoxy by advocating for government intervention to address unemployment. Here's how this advanced the field. Rejection of laissez-faire. Keynes argued that the free market's automatic adjustment were insufficient to solve the unemployment problems. This fundamentally shifts the focus from relying solely on market forces to actively managing the economic through government intervention. Number two, government spending as a solution. Keynes proposed government spending programs as a direct way to create jobs, stimulate economic activity. This idea, revolutionary at the time, became a cornerstone of modern macroeconomics and influenced policy like New Deal programs in the US. Number three, shifting focus from supply to demand. Keynes emphasized the role of aggregate demand in driving economic activity. This contrasted with the classical focus on supply side factors like wages and production costs. This, this shift is perspective open up new avenues for analyzing and managing economic fluctuation. While the general theory is still debated for its complexities, it fundamentally changed how economists think about government intervention and employment and macroeconomic management.
Welcome to Kirkcaldy, a charming coastal town in Fife, Scotland. Renowned for its beautiful views of Firth of Forth, Kirkcaldy combines a riches with modern conveniences. With its scenic beaches, a vibrant community, it's an inviting destination for those interested in exploring its heritage and culture. Adam Smith was born on June 5, 1723 in Kirkcaldy, Scotland. His father, also named Adam Smith Sr., was a customs officer. His mother was Margaret Douglas. Adam Smith hailed from Kirkcaldy, a small town in Scotland. Smith attended the University of Glasgow at the age of 14, where he studied moral philosophy. Later, he attended Balliol College, Oxford for further studies. Adam Smith was a key figure in the Scottish Enlightenment, known for his deep interest in philosophy, economics, and political theory. He worked as a professor of moral philosophy at the University of Glasgow, where he gained recognition as an engaging teacher. Smith was deeply involved in intellectual movement of his time and interacted with many prominent philosophers and thinkers. His most famous work, The Wealth of Nations, laid the foundation of classical economics. Theory de May. Adam Smith is the best known for the following key theories and ideas. Number 1, the invisible hand. Smith introduced the concept of the invisible hand, which suggests that individuals pursuing their self-interest in a competitive market tend to intentionally promote the overall good of society through their action. Number 2, division of labor. He emphasized the importance of division in labor increasing productivity. Smith argued that breaking down the production process into specialized tasks would lead to greater efficiency and economics. Number 3, laissez-faire economics. Smith was a proponent of free market with minimal government intervention, believing that this would lead to the most efficient allocation of resources. Adam Smith's primary message was the importance of free market, individual and self-interest, and limited government interference in economic activities. He believed that when individuals were free to pursue their own goals, markets would regulate themselves and lead to prosperity for society as a whole. His work was a call to recognize the power of competition, innovation, and the potential of decentralized economic decision.
Maria Ganadura Antigua, student of Institute of Agriculture from Section Base A2B, and may I introduce to you the one of the top 10 economists in the world. James Joseph Heckman, 80 years old, was born on April 19, 1944, from Chicago, Illinois, of United States. James Joseph Heckman, or also known as James Heckman, is noted for his contribution to selection bias and self-selection in quantitative analysis in the social science, especially to the Heckman correction, which earned him the Nobel Prizes in economics. He is also well known for his empirical research in labor economics and his scholarship on the efficacy of early childhood education programs. As of June 2024, according to REPIC, he is the third most influential economist in the world. Heckman, in 1979, married a sociologist, Lane Pitler Heckman, who died in July 8, 2017. They had two children, a son, Jonathan B., in 1982, who is a physicist of the University of Pennsylvania, and a daughter, Alma B., 1986, who is an assistant professor of history at the University of California at Santa Cruz. James Heckman, his academic background and thesis, 3 essay on the supply of labor and the demand for goods on 1971. In his academic career field in microeconomics, and his institution of University of Chicago, University of Southern California, Columbia University, Chinese University of Hong Kong, in his school or tradition, Chicago School of Economics, his alma mater, Colorado College, Bay A, Princeton University, and nahimo din siya dito PhD. His doctoral advisor, Harry H. Callahan and Stanley Warren Block. His doctoral student, Caroline Henrich, George Borjas, Petra Todd, Stephen Cameron, Mark Rosen Swing, and Russ Roberts. His influences, Albert Reis, Gary Becker, and Jacob Minster. His contribution, Heckman Correction, and his award, John Bates Clark Medal in 1983, Nobel Memorial Prize in Economics on 2000, and French Medal on 2014. And that's all. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Jimark Tikinusala. May I introduce to you the top 10 of economists is Dambisa Moyo. She's born was February 12, 1969, and she is from the Nakas, Cambodia, and she's graduate San Antonio College, Oxford University, and she received in 2022 DPH Economist. And what we say in how work Dambisa Moyo was, we have three key responsibility capabilities born. Number one is the levers and limitation bonds have to create changes across the business landscape. Number two, capable boundaries remain the idea government structure in the 21st century. Number three, to how best Turkey 21st century college from delegation to